the same question. Why are you motivated to do your work? Of 144 rangers at a call center for a public university, he found nearly identical results. Only the fund rangers expressed stronger pro-social motives and who found the work intrinsically engaging made more calls and in turn raised more money for the university. Developmental psychologists David Eager and Matt Bondi found the same pattern of results in adolescents. For example, in one study, David interviewed about 100 adolescents, asking them to tell him in their own words what they wanted to be when they grew up and why. Some talked about their future in purely self-oriented terms. I want to be a fashion designer because it's a fun thing to do. What's important is that you really enjoy your career. Others only mentioned other-oriented motives. I want to be a doctor. I want to help people out. And finally, some adolescents mentioned both self and other-oriented motives. If I was a marine biologist, I would push to keep everything clean. I would pick a certain place and go help that place out, like the fish and everything. I've always loved having fish tanks and fish because they get to swim and it's like free. It's like flying underwater or something. 2 years later, young people would mention both self and other-oriented motives, rated their schoolwork as more personally meaningful than classmates who named either motive alone. For many of the great pedagogos I've interviewed, the road to a purposeful, interesting passion was unpredictable. Aurora and Franco Font are Australian entrepreneurs whose facilities services company has 2,500 employees and generates more than $130 million in annual revenue. 27 years ago, Laura and Franco were newly married, and that broke. They got the idea to start a restaurant, but didn't have enough money to launch one. Instead, they began cleaning shopping malls and small office buildings, not out of any sense of calling, but because it paid the bills. Soon enough, their career ambitions took a turn. They could see a brighter future in building maintenance than in hospitality. They both worked ferociously hard, putting in 80-hour weeks, sometimes with their infant children in carriers strapped across their chests, scrubbing their bathroom tiles in their customers' buildings as if they were their own. Through all the ups and downs, and there are many, Franco told me, we always persevered. We didn't give in to obstacles. There was no way we're going to let ourselves fail. I confessed to Aurora and Franco that it was hard for me to imagine how cleaning bathrooms or even building a multi-million-dollar corporation that cleans bathrooms could feel like a calling. It's not about the cleaning, Aurora explained, her voice tightening. With emotion, it's about building something. It's about our clients and solving their problems. Most of all, it is about the incredible people we employ. They have the biggest souls, and we feel a huge responsibility toward them. According to Stanford developmental psychologist Bill Damon, such a beyond the self-orientation can and should be deliberately cultivated. Now in the fifth decade of his distinguished career, Bill studies how adolescents learn to lead lives that are personally gratifying and at the same time beneficial to the large community. The study of purpose, he says, is his calling. In Bill's words, purpose is a final answer to the question, why? Why are you doing this? What is Bill learned about the origins of purpose? In data set after data set, he told me, there is a pattern. Everyone has a spark. And that's the very beginning of purpose. That spark is something you are interested in. Next, you need to observe someone who is purposeful. The purposeful role model could be a family member, a historical figure, a political figure. It doesn't really matter who it is. And it doesn't even matter whether that purpose is related, what the child will end up doing. What matters, Bill explained, is that someone demonstrates that it's possible to accomplish something on behalf of others. In fact, he can remember a single case in which the developmental purpose unfolded without the earlier observation of a purposeful role model. Ideally, he said, the child really gets to see how difficult a life of purpose is. All the frustrations and obstacles, but also how gratifying ultimately it can be. What follows is a revelation, as Bill put it. The person discovers a problem in the world that needs solving. This discovery can come in many ways. Sometimes from personal loss or adversary. Sometimes from learning about the laws and adversary confronting others. But seeing that someone needs our help isn't enough. Bill hasn't to add. Purpose requires a second revelation. I personally can make a difference. This conviction, this intention to take action. He says is why it is so important to have observed a role model enact purpose in their own life. You have to believe that your efforts will not be in vain.